Welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. And today I want to mention one of my favorite films of 2021. I saw it actually last year. And it won the biggest award at the Cannes Film Festival, the Palme D'or. And that is Titane, starring Agatha Russell and Vincent Linden. It's a body horror drama film about I guess the best way I could describe this plot is really the central story follows a because there's multiple ways of how the plot is explained. So this is my interpretation of the story. It centers on two people that are trying to find ways of healing each other, of having a father and son relationship, where one of them is grieving, the other one is a serial killer and is pregnant after mating with a car. And you heard me right. Someone has intimate intercourse with a car and they get pregnant. And I'm really serious about that. Um, yeah, yeah. And somehow they were able to make this into the most profound dramas that I've seen in a long time. And will I say, well, okay, let me tell you a little bit about it. This film is really advertised as a thriller. To its core, it is a drama. The horror elements kind of take a backseat a little bit, where they're mostly in the beginning, at least literally in the first, well, I'll say a good chunk of the film, a good 32 minutes, at least a good 30 something minutes, that the horror element of the film really pushes its force. But then the other hour, you have the drama with little elements of horror, for the exception of body horror themes. Um, and Really, this film is really to its core a family drama. Believe it or not, it's a family drama. It's a family drama about a bond between father and child. It's a story of a child or a outcast child who poses as a boy, a woman who poses as a boy, meets another more masculine like father figure who takes him under its wing, which he believes that's his long lost son who's been missing for like 10 years. And really tries to raise him and tries to comfort with this unconditional love in a way that's, you know, you all want from your dad. I'm joking. And you have this father who's been grieving for a long time, to the point where he's slowly decaying by taking steroids, and it's damaging his body. And you can't help but feel, I don't know if the right word is contempt, but feeling very sorry for at least both of these characters. Well, for the first character, you don't fully connect with her until like later on into the film, where somehow you're able to turn. And this is interesting. This is kind of interesting what they did with the Northman too. It's where they made a character, and from the start of the film, they made this character kind of like savagey and just vicious, and then somehow for the duration, you see the human side of this character and where they're coming from. Now, you don't necessarily understand, but you're horrified that this character is going through certain things that you see in the film that is very time ticking to the point where it could lead to a very disastrous result, which it does. But to its heart, it does bring about a I guess a somewhat at ease of way of helping somebody to grieve over the loss of a child, which I won't spoil too much of what really goes on into the film. This film, you kind of want to go in blind and not have a lot of like details to be explored with you, but to its core, this is a different kind of family drama, and one to where you could be unsettled. There's quite a few moments in here where it actually got me under my skin, most particularly with the serial killer protagonist, antagonist, however you choose to see the film, or that character, where she's pretty much she's the main lead because you're here because you're with her from beginning to end, and it's really interesting because the character, as she as she adapts this new personality, or the pretending to be um, this man's son, she doesn't say a lot, but it's more in the expression and the emotion. And I love how some of these scenes are set out. Some of these scenes are awkward, where she has to pose as a man and to really like blend in. Because the father, he's a firefighter. He lives at this firefighting house. And there's a scene in there. There's quite a few scenes I really loved in this movie. There's one particular scene that really stood out. Is where they're having like a party, and then they put her on the spot, and then she like goes up on top on the fire truck and starts dancing in a way to where it's more feminine. And the guys looked at each other. The guys are like partying like it's a brawl, and they all looked at each other confused. And the father comes in there the same way. He goes over into the next scene and starts smoking. But still, the guy's grieving, and it's he's grieving, but it's uh there's another scene that stood out. There's quite a few scenes in here that really stood out to me, and really it kept it interesting. There wasn't really a dull moment unless you're really just not in with the film. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, this film is not gonna be for everyone. It's not. It's not. It's probably going to be one of the most bizarre movies I recommend on this channel, and I'm gonna try to look in and see if I could find more of them. But this film, to my surprise, hit one of my top 10 movies of 2021, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, this movie was amazing. Actually, no, I don't think it did because I saw it last year, but I thought it was an amazing film. Titane, have you seen it? Comment below, let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.